We're live.
Welcome to the Lost Together podcast. I'm Joe, and this is still my attempt to convince Morgan that Lost is one of the greatest television shows ever written, directed, produced, acted in, and then recapped years and years and years later by somebody who was not so long ago violently ill, which is why we were gone for so long. Sorry for our absence.
He was ill, not me.
Yeah, I am so happy to be back. I was tested positive for COVID for the very first time. I'd never tested positive for COVID in the entirety of the pandemic, and right when the night we would have recorded last weekend, I was asleep, I guess.
Yeah,
the
you
whole
slept
day.
for 4 days, basically.
Yeah, it was not great, but
Yeah.
I'm feeling much better, although you will have to deal with a little bit of a cough here and there, and some raspiness, but a whole lot better today than this day last weekend. Which is good, because today we are talking about Season 4, Episode 9, The Shape of Things to Come. So this episode is infamous as an episode. I'm trying to figure out the date that it aired, because I know we were tracking around my birthday at the time that this was. Okay, this is a month after. So it originally aired on April 24th, 2008. I can't imagine what it must have been like to watch this episode the first time that it aired, because of the stuff that happens in it. So what did you think in general?
There was a lot going on. A lot of stuff happened in this episode. I'm really loving that. I feel like we're getting somewhere with some of the mysticism and whatnot.
Yep.
So I'm happy for that. It was a good episode. I really liked it.
I wonder if the writers, as they were writing through this, because I think there's no doubt that they didn't. I don't think the writers knew everything that was going to happen in Lost when they started writing.
Surely not.
But they had to start thinking by about Season 4, we've got to start answering some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to drop off if we don't start answering some stuff. And it really feels like Season 4 is that season where they were like, let's give the people what they want. Let's give them some answers.
For real. Not more questions.
So that's this episode. There's a handful of things that happen in this episode that are useful to the series, but then one tragic thing that happens in this episode.
Two tragic things.
Yeah, I think one more than the other.
Well, yeah.
So let's just get right into the recap of The Shape of Things to Come.
Yeah. So we start off strong. Dead guy on the beach.
Yeah.
Dead guy on the beach. Jack is sick. I don't know what he's sick with. He's taking antibiotics.
He says
it's a stomach bug. Yeah, but since when do you take antibiotics for a stomach bug? He's a doctor.
I was prescribed antibiotics that time I got Montezuma's Revenge on
That's not a stomach bug, though.
the cruise ship. Well, it's a bacteria that affects your stomach and your intestines. So.
Well, I thought it was weird. But, yeah, so it's the doctor, right? Mm-hmm. Is the dead guy?
Mm-hmm.
From the ship.
The ship doctor, yeah.
Yeah, from the ship. So, they yank him up onto the shore, and, my God, what's his name? Daniel Faraday.
Yeah.
He gets the walkie-talkie and is talking in Morse code to the ship, and he says, like, what happened to the doctor? And they do back, and he goes, oh, he said that your friends are fine. Saeed and Desmond are good. The helicopter will be back tomorrow. So keep it up, guys. And then, what's his name? My God. Rose's husband.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What is his name?
Why am I drawing a blank on that?
I don't know. Rose's husband,
Yeah.
Bernard.
It's because it's a weird name.
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird name.
Bernard goes, that's not what they said. They said, what do you mean the doctor's fine? So, Daniel Faraday goes, oh, you know Morse code. Obviously, you dipshit. Obviously, he does.
What if that was just a guess? He was
Wouldn't that be
he was
funny?
like, no, I didn't know Morse code, but I just tricked you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
then it comes out that they had absolutely no intention of getting anybody off that island except for Ben.
yes.
Yeah. So...
Because they were coming for Ben. They were
Yeah.
like, just come and try to find him. So.
Yeah. So Jack, like, runs away. He's doubled over in pain. He's like, whoa. He hasn't thrown up or anything, though. So, yeah. we're back with Alex now. So she is like blindfolded and she's getting run through the jungle by these bad guys. Bad guys.
You can tell they're bad guys because they're
wearing
heavily
all
armed.
black.
Yeah.
And dirty and rough or whatever. So they yank her around through the jungle and they make her turn off the sonar fence. Didn't it like blow a rabbit up or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So turn that off and she's like, please, they've got a baby. They have a baby with them. Please don't hurt him. And is his name Keamy?
Yeah, Martin Keamy.
Yeah. So he's like, shut up. So she turns off the fence. They keep going. And then we switch over and it's Hurley and I'm really having a hard time with names.
Do you happen to remember the code that she puts in to turn off it's 1623.
I knew it would be some combination.
1623 for you.
Yeah. I knew it would be something like that. But Saeed and not Saeed. What? I'm sorry. Sawyer and Hurley and Locke are playing Risk, which I've never played. I don't know how to play that game.
My favorite thing about Risk is that line from that Bo Burnham song where he says, if every day you play the board game Risk, you've probably never taken a risk in your life. And it's an okay game. I played it once or twice as a kid with my stepdad. And it's okay. I mean, it's... Risk is like Dungeons and Dragons, but with armies. Kind of. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds fun.
Well,
Not. Dungeons and Dragons is fun, though.
If you remember, Locke was playing it at the beginning of the series.
Was he playing
on
Risk?
his lunch break.
I remember him playing something, but I didn't, because they were calling him Sergeant.
Yeah, because General. Before you knew that he was a box salesman or whatever. He
in
was
a wheelchair, yeah. So, anyway, so they're playing that game, and then a phone rings, which I believe is the first time we've seen a phone ring on the island. Well, that's not true.
No.
Their phones were ringing in the hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they pick it up, and it's like code J14 or whatever. Was that it? J14?
I think so.
So they're like, So they go over to Ben's house, and he's playing the piano, and there is
Let's talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they go, hey, the phone rang, and they said J14, and he goes, shit, that means they're here. And he opens up his little, most people when they have a piano and their little bench, they open it up, and there's like sheet music in there, and
not a sawed-off shotgun.
Not a sawed-off shotgun. So he picks it up and puts it at Sawyer, and he's like, stay in the house, board up the windows. They're here. They want to hurt everybody. So
right.
Sawyer takes off running to go get Claire. Oh, they've got Aaron. Aaron is in the house with Hurley and them. So Sawyer takes off running, and like he's about to get to her house, and it explodes. And I was like, no, not the mama. But she's fine. She was just a little scratched up. And he picks her up, and she goes, Charlie?
Oh.
No, baby. It's not Charlie.
No.
They get her back inside. He's like, open the damn door. And Ben was like, absolutely not. So Hurley busts out a window, and they climb in. Risky business there. So then Keamy is out there, and he sends Miles into the house with a walkie-talkie. And why didn't they kill Miles? Or what? Like
to get the walkie-talkie in.
No. I don't know how he showed up. He just kind of showed up, and he was like, here's a walkie-talkie. So Ben and Keamy are talking, and it's just Keamy out there.
Mm.
And he's like, hey, you don't know what kind of guy I am. Just listen, you come out of that house and nobody gets hurt. Nobody will get hurt. And Ben's like, yeah, okay, you big fat liar, pants on fire. That's not true. And I'm not leaving this house, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I know everything about you. And he lists off all of Keamy's, like
military.
His rank and all that. And he goes like, yeah, but I was, you don't know what I did. And Ben says something like, oh, yeah, you were in Uganda or somewhere.
Fallujah.
Fallujah?
Yeah.
Somewhere that there are atrocities happening by the hands of the military. That was kind of the vibe. So then Ben's like, listen, I'm not leaving the house. Kimi goes, okay. And so he brings Alex out, puts her on her knees, and says, you got 10 seconds to say goodbye to your daughter or come out of the house. And Ben's like, she's not even my daughter. She doesn't mean anything to me. She's a pawn. I stole her from an insane lady, so do what you gotta do. So he does. He shoots her in the head. And then Ben,
Yeah.
I was believing him. I was like, oh shit, he stole her from Danielle. That's so sad. Like, why would he do that? Why would you steal a baby? But then obviously he was lying. What an idiot to call somebody's bluff when that's what's going on. They've got your kid. They're going to kill your kid, and you're like, nope, you're lying.
Miscalculation.
Damn. So, he he pulls a bookshelf off the wall, and it's one of those a bank door.
Yeah.
Comes down, so Sawyer's like, get out of there. And I thought for sure, I was like, oh, damn, he's already moving on, plan B, whatever. And he's in that room where he had all the little, I literally can't talk today. Passports, he had all those passports with different names. And he comes back out, and he goes all right, wait for my signal. Soon as I give the signal, run for the trees. Go straight to the tree line, and we'll catch up later. So they do. They go outside, and he calls the damn smoke monster in, and it waxes all those bad guys. Absolutely waxes them. It's dragging them in.
Yeah.
And they're screaming and stuff. And Locke's like, I thought you said you didn't know what the smoke monster was. Did you call that thing? And Ben's like, maybe. So they go out to the woods, and Ben tells them, okay, well, we're going to go to the temple, that everybody's already there, whatever, and then we're going to go find Jacob. And Sawyer's like, you know what? This sucks, and I'm going back to the beach, and I'm not hanging out with you lunatics anymore. So everybody goes with Sawyer. So then Locke pulls up a gun right to Sawyer, and he's like, Hurley's staying with us. Because apparently he knows how to get to the cabin.
He knows how to find Jacob. Yeah.
Right. That
the cabin, but the cabin has moved, obviously, because
right.
they keep going back to where it's at, and it's gone.
Right.
So,
and
yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. How does Hurley know where the cabin is? Will it be explained later?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, okay. So Sawyer points his gun right back, and they're having a little Mexican standoff. So then Hurley goes all right, man, I'll go with Locke and Ben. That's fine. So they do. They split off. I think that's everything with them.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get a flashback. I guess it's a flash forward. Yeah. Ben wakes up in the desert, and he's smoking, and he's coughing, he throws up.
Yeah.
And then these two dudes.
Because of course he does.
Of course he does. These two dudes come around, and they're talking in different languages, and he goes do you speak Arabic? Do you speak French? Do you speak Turkish? And he's speaking in all these languages, and they're pretending they don't know what he's saying. So they start patting him down, and he, like a total badass, pulls out a Batman baton and beats the shit out of both of them.
Yeah, I like that.
He's tough.
Well, you'll probably say it. Boy, sorry.
What?
There's something I really like in the scene. I just think it's funny because Ben is funny in kind of short.
Yeah. He beats that guy up, and he goes mercy, mercy, and he goes, oh, you do speak English.
Oh, so you do speak English, and then he
whap,
pop.
Yeah, hits him with a gun, I think.
Yeah, the butt
Takes
end
the
of the gun.
yeah.
Mm.
So then he's trekking right along down through whatever. Is he in
Tunisia?
Tunisia.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say the name of that country. I don't know where it is either. I have absolutely no idea.
I actually don't either. I think it's probably Africa. Hold on.
No idea.
This is our American geography lessons.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that country. So he's in a coffee shop.
Yeah, it's Northern Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he goes to a hotel, and on the TV is Saeed. Mm-hmm. And Saeed is getting in a car and he says, I just want to bury my wife in peace. This poor man needs to stop getting romantically involved with people because they end up dead every time.
All of them.
Every time. Shannon, Nadia, the Russian girl that... But she wasn't...
She wasn't his, but I mean...
No, but...
they didn't know each other that long.
He said, I love you to her.
Yeah, but maybe Saeed's one of those people that falls in love too easy.
That doesn't make it not real and valid.
Well, it does. We've all known somebody who says that they're in love with every person that they start dating. They're like 1 or 2 dates in, and they're like, this is the one. This is the love of my life. And then...
Whatever.
Don't let it be Saeed. You're going to be in trouble.
Honestly. So... I was like, what the hell? His wife? So Ben goes, he's like on the roof of a building and is watching Saeed, her funeral, like watching Saeed carry her coffin or whatever.
Yeah, like the procession.
Yeah. And he starts taking pictures of some fella, some bald fella. Mm-hmm. And then he's in a coffee shop and he is like so obviously watching this guy. I thought it was, like, even I would know, like, oh, I'm being followed right now. So he gets a hold of that guy. They, like, run through the market or whatever. He catches on that he's being followed. He takes off running. Ben catches him. Again, is a tough little dude. Grabs him up, puts him on the wall, and he's like, I have a message for Charles Widmore. And then dude tries to play dumb a little bit, and then he's like, okay, what's your message? Right before Ben's about to say it, pop, 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 pop. Shot. Saeed shot that dude, like, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Many times.
Yeah.
After he was dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ben was like, oh, yeah, that's the guy that killed your wife. That's why Saeed shot him.
Yeah.
Because that guy killed Saeed's wife. Don't know why, but he did. So then Ben's like, oh, Saeed says, oh, okay, well, who's next? Like, I need to get revenge on all these people, so who's next? And Ben's like, don't let your grief turn to anger. Trust me. I know. And Saeed's like, whatever, dude. So, let's see what happens next. Oh, then Ben goes to Charles Widmore's place in the middle of the night. Walks in. He, like, swipes a key and goes up to the penthouse. And Charles is asleep. And Ben just walks in and he's like, hey. And Charles goes, are you here to kill me? And Ben says, you know that I can't do that.
Exposition.
Yeah. And he's got that expensive scotch on the bedside table.
Yep.
And Ben says, when did you start drinking scotch at bedtime? And Charles says, when the nightmares started. What are the nightmares? What are they? What are you having nightmares about?
Yeah.
So then basically, Ben says, listen, you killed my kid. You changed the rules. Oh, yeah, he said that as soon as Alex got shot, he like, went stone-faced and he said, he changed the rules. And that's when he went into the room. Mm. So he told Charles, like, you're going to wish you hadn't changed the rules because now I'm going to find your daughter, Penelope, and I'm going to kill her so that you feel how I feel. Because you killed my daughter. And Charles Widmore's like, actually, I didn't kill your daughter. You killed your daughter because you were too damn prideful. And, you thought you could outsmart everybody. So it's your fault that she died. And Ben says, you're never going to find the island, bitch. And Charles says, well, I guess the hunt's on for both of us. Lost.
Yeah. Good dad stuff there on Charles Widmore's part. The hunt is on for both of us.
Yeah, he's like, you'll never find her. You're never going to find her.
Yeah, I mean, how stupid is Charles Widmore?
I think he probably could find her.
Yeah. It's like,
Ben is not a person that I would want to have it out for me.
No, and not somebody who I would want saying he was going to kill one of my daughters.
Yeah.
Because, like, probably he will,
Yeah.
unless you kill him right there.
Right.
Which, you get that when they say,
I can't kill you.
Yeah. It's the same as, like, when Michael couldn't kill himself. Like, the island just won't let certain players come off the board, in that sense. So, yeah, it's a pretty good episode, right?
A lot of stuff happening.
So, speaking of a lot of stuff happening, I made a couple of notes just while I was watching back through. So, when they're playing Risk at the beginning of the game, there's a quote that one of them says he says, Australia is the key to the whole game, which I think is interesting. So obviously with
We
Australia
love our
playing,
Aussies.
well, yeah, we do, but it's also a pretty key component in Lost. Like they're coming from Sydney,
Yeah.
right? So I think that they, that's something for you to pay attention to. It's like
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did they say that? Okay, so now let's talk about the other thing.
The piano.
Yes.
A lot of bad guys always play pianos just because it's like kind of morose and it's like it's an active
So it's
thing.
it's a trope, and so when I called it out while I was watching the episode, and then we were kind of talking about it while the episode was on, and I looked into it, since then, and it's basically it's the same trope on TV. Like there's instruments signal things about people that play them, and so like a typical good guy trope for instruments is guitars, right? Like they play guitars, right?
Always.
And bad guys play piano. And so one of the things that because like Gus Fring played piano a couple of times in Breaking Bad, right? And what it's supposed to convey is it's not your bog standard villain that plays piano, because like there's a bunch of bad guys in Lost and they haven't all been playing piano.
No, the piano is like tortured and.
I think it's meant to, in the same way that it serves the same narrative device in Lost, in my opinion, that playing bright, happy music over dark moments signals it's like a signal that something dark is happening underneath. Mm-hmm. And the piano is like refined. So the piano is an instrument that you would play probably if you had some kind of culture or you were refined in some way, and so it's a signal that this villain's not just like senselessly brutal and evil or whatever. Like they're calculated. So when you see a bad guy that's playing a piano, it's like a signal that these are smart bad guys. Like these are cerebral bad guys, and the piano is how you know that. All that like rage simmering underneath, just just a little bit of piano. And actually, like I'm always interested to see like the actors who play piano, because we just saw a thing on TikTok where Jeff Goldblum was playing piano for Cynthia Erivo.
I had no idea he could play, and he played really well.
Me neither. Well, it makes sense. He's got the piano fingers, it's
like Steve Martin and his banjo.
I guess. But, he's Jeff Goldblum is the villain in Wicked. It's not a huge spoiler. I mean, if you...
No, yeah. If you know...
He's the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Like, the Wizard of Oz has never been a good guy in the history of any adaptation of the Wizard of Oz. He's always a bad guy in some way.
Yeah, he's a freaking liar.
He's a fraud and a liar and evil and stuff.
Butthole.
But, so Ben playing the piano, I think, like, it's about his sophistication and his calculated nature, I think. That's the signal that it gives for Ben. Same thing for Gus. Like Gus in Breaking Bad playing piano. Because I'm going to get to our viewers. I don't know. Do we call them fans? I don't know.
Friends.
Because they did a poll about who had watched Breaking Bad, because we've mentioned it so many times. And also, funny enough, because I can't just binge Lost, obviously, because we're stuck where we're stuck. But when I had COVID, I just streamed Breaking Bad on the TV, and I got to like
season 4, wasn't it?
Midway through season 3.
Oh.
So I watched a lot of Breaking Bad while I was sick. Strangely comforting. It's not should be a show that's that comforting, but strangely comforting thing to just have on the TV. But Gus and Ben, lots of similar personality traits, calculating, forward-looking, glasses. Wonder if there's something to that, actually. Glasses and like
bad guys can't see.
Villains.
That's why they're bad, because they're pissed off because they can't see.
Yeah, they can't read. Without their glasses.
I'm gonna kill somebody.
I have to do this when I read. I have to kill somebody for it. Anyway, another thing I wrote down is that Ben says the date is 10/24, 2005.
Oh yeah, at the hotel, he asks the lady, "What's the date?" And she tells him, and then he goes, "The year." So now there's time travel. Now we're time traveling.
Yeah, but what I thought was interesting about that is we were even time traveling when the show was live. So,
What?
or 2008. Wait, no, wait. Sorry, I wrote that. I did that wrong. Sorry. Yeah, we would have been traveling. I got the year wrong. My bad,
What
guys.
the
That's
hell
just
are
a
you
blunder.
talking about?
So the episode was airing in April, and then this moment set in October. But it was 2008 versus 2005, and I thought I did something there. So just ignore that, Losties. I got really excited. I was like, man, I think I did something right there. I didn't do something right there.
It's okay.
All right, so just a funny thing, and then we'll get to one of the big themes in the episode, and then art within the art. But something funny was Martin Keamy, who is talking on the walkie-talkie with Ben, and literally the visual is Martin, and the line that he says is, "What kind of guy do you think I am?" Right, yeah. And behind him is the smoldering wreckage of a building that he blew up with a bazooka. Like, that is kind of a low-key funny line that the folks from Lost wrote for that, because he doesn't deliver it funny. Like,
no,
Martin Keamy's
deadpan, flat.
Yeah. He's not trying to be funny. He's like actually trying to negotiate. Like, what kind of guy do you think I am? But then literally behind him is like, oh, I don't know, the kind of guy that sets fire to a whole village and blows shit up with a bazooka. I don't know. Yeah. Like one of those kinds of guys, whatever you'd call that archetype. So let's get to why do all of Saeed's love interests die?
I don't know, but I feel so sad for him because he's a decent dude. Like, I mean, he did some bad things back in the day, but on the island, he's helpful, he's smart, he's fair.
So, all of the Lost, their characters have these sort of like fatal flaws that follow them kind of in a pattern, right? Mm-hmm. So, what's the pattern that follows Saeed?
He falls in love and they die.
But how do they die? They're
Guns, I don't know. I don't know how Nadia died.
Well, she was killed.
Right, but
it doesn't matter. She was killed.
Okay.
But she was killed, right? Yeah. How does Shannon die?
She was killed.
Right. How about?
He killed her.
Yeah. So it's Saeed, when he shows up on the island, he tells everybody that he's a communications officer, right?
Yeah, but he's a torturer.
He's a torturer, right?
Yeah.
So he's trying to kind of rewrite his narrative a little bit.
Would.
As a non-violent member of the military. Because communications, you wouldn't be. Like, that's just communications.
Also, you have to remember, post 9/11, and he's told him he's a Muslim. Mm-hmm. Did 9/11 happen in the Lost universe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I get it, why he would be like, no, I worked in the bakery at the military place. I didn't torture anybody.
But I think my point is that there's a sense in Lost, as people, there's this push and pull between like trying to improve themselves and being who they are. And Saeed's story is really interesting because Saeed's history is full of violence. Mm-hmm. And violence follows him anywhere he goes. So he's got this kind of dark cloud over him of just violence just happens around Saeed. Mm-hmm. Like, he ends up getting pulled into torturing again on the island to try to get where the medicine is from Sawyer, mm-hmm. right? Which is still Sawyer's fault. Like, I hate that Saeed did torture again and was a bad guy for a second, but like, fuck season 1 Sawyer for being such an insufferable dick that even needed to be a thing. Like, he's hoarding medicine. Like, sorry.
He deserved it.
I'm team no big deal in that case. Like, Sawyer getting tortured because all he had to do was say where the medicine was at, but instead he was just being a jerkwad.
He was.
For absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the writers decided to make him kind of sympathetic as the seasons went on, because Sawyer was too much for me in the early seasons. I'm like, this guy. Anyway. So I think it's one of those push and pull things that we see with a lot of characters in Lost. Like, you've got Kate runs, away from her problems. But she tries at different points on the island to, stay put in a situation. But she just gets triggered and has to run and has to do the opposite of what people tell her to do. And, for Saeed, I think it's just that he's just surrounded by violence. And, he lived violently. And so that's just the case, right? But it also makes me think of this scene that he had with Hurley where, was it Hurley in the beginning was like, I think you're a good guy or something like that.
Probably.
They have like
that sounds like a Hurley thing.
I think you're a good guy.
Is it when he's trying to build that transmitter?
Radio, yeah.
Yeah.
And Saeed says, you don't know me or whatever. And Hurley's like, I think you're a good guy,
Hurley.
Which is, I think, a thing that probably Saeed hasn't heard very much. Yeah. Like, I think you're a good guy is probably something that Saeed hasn't heard very much. That's why that moment sticks out to me, because Hurley tells him, I think you're a good guy. He's like, you don't know me. But so that means to me that he has internalized that he's not a good guy. Mm-hmm. So we, to get into, I don't know how many of our viewers have kids or are parents, but we've had this discussion before where it's important when you're punishing kids that you're targeting the thing they did and not who they are when you're punishing them. So it's like, you did a bad thing. You're a good kid, but you did a bad thing when they do something bad. Because once people internalize that they're a bad person, they start to not think that bad things they're doing are bad things. They're just like, this is just what I do. It's a really important thing, I think, for people to believe that they are a good person. And I think still at this point in the series, Saeed does not believe that he is a good person. I think that he thinks that he is a bad person. And so in some sense, like, it makes sense to him that this stuff is happening.
Yeah, he earned it or whatever.
Yeah, I earned it. Like, this is who I am, and if you're in my circle, this is what's going to happen. But also, I think in that same scene, I don't know if that's... Hurley and Saeed have lots of little chats throughout the series, and I think... I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, so I don't want to get too far into conversations between Hurley and Saeed, but I know they had one when he was trying to fix the transistor, and he was like...
Transistor?
Yeah.
Transmitter?
Transceiver.
Oh, we were both wrong.
So yeah, I think it's that. I'd be interested to hear what our friends who are watching the show think. Like, why do Saeed's love interests die?
And always violently. Like, nobody just, like, gets a cold and dies or whatever. They're maimed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Saeed's not the only person with a violent history, on the show. You've got Sawyer, whose history is very violent. Mm-hmm. You've got Kate, obviously, very violent history. And so, violence, is that violence begets more violence?
Yes.
Is that a Bible thing? Or is that just
I have no idea.
Anyway.
Sounds like a president thing.
Maybe. All right, so the art within the art, this episode is directly related to the title of the episodes. The title of the episode is The Shape of Things to Come, which is also the title of a 1933 novel written by H.G. Wells, so the same guy who wrote The Time Machine. And The Shape of Things to Come was a kind of... He wrote it to be cryptic, the title, but he wrote it in 1933, so that date's important, because he was sort of predicting another world war. So he was predicting World War II before it happened.
Yeah, I mean.
And so H.G. Wells very worried about World War II. I've never read the book. I'm just familiar with the book because I had to learn about H.G. Wells in college. And so he was very afraid of authoritarianism, but at the same time recognized that authoritarianism was kind of necessary in order to get humanity to a better place at some point, because he just didn't believe that people in general were good enough to behave in a democratic way long term. Like, at some point you're going to have benevolent dictators, and I can't remember the name of this group in the book, but they're this group that are now these like world dictators who lead the world with science and rationality. So they like...
Sounds pretty good.
But it's still a dictatorship, though. It's still tyranny. And so you don't get a choice under this dictatorship. They say, like, for example, it would be like if dictators went, we have determined that there is too much pollution and it's ruining the planet, and therefore you may not use anything plastic anymore. And therefore you'll be thrown in prison if we find you with plastic.
I mean...
Okay, it makes sense, but, like, to just suddenly transition from plastic everything to no plastic, and then get thrown in jail for it. Is that a good process? No. No, because you don't have enough prisons. You're going to have to be killing people for that. Because there's going to be so many people using plastic and not enough space to hold them that you're going to have to do something to punish these people. That's what happens in dictatorships. Like, they make all these rules that you can't hope to follow, and then that's the inevitable thing that happens. So he was trying to warn in The Shape of Things to Come that bad shit is about to happen in the world. And it will be because of a fascist totalitarian. And guess what? It happened. So in this, I think that, Lost chose this specifically because we're headed toward some really bad stuff at the hand of a really bad guy. So Charles Woodmore is...
What is his problem? Is it just that he's a wealthy man and wants to have everything?
Okay, so without spoiling it for you, just try to piece some of it together a little bit. So Charles Woodmore, why did his group come to the island? Who were they looking for?
Ben.
Which means that he knows Ben.
Yeah.
Okay. How would he know Ben?
Fuck if I know. Was he from the island at some point?
I mean...
Had to be on the island. Because Ben's been there since he was very young. Mm-hmm. He was like 11, right?
Yep.
So...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's from the island.
Yeah. So, that means that Charles...
Well, he keeps calling it my island. So, was he in leadership? Did he get exiled?
So, possibly. Mm-hmm. And so now he is mega rich and mega powerful, which is another really quick way to make somebody a dickhead on TV shows.
Give him a whole bunch of money.
Yep. This guy has a whole bunch of money, so he's a dick, right? Like that's
Look at how much money he has and how much everything still sucks. It's how you know he's bad.
Mm-hmm. Right. And they have given you every possible signal that Charles Woodmore is a total dickhead.
Yeah.
Every time you see him on they have...
Yeah.
They have given him zero redeeming qualities. It's one of my few criticisms of Lost is that, like...
He's just a bad dude.
He's just a bad guy. Like, there's no... Real good bad guys have something you can identify with. I guess the closest thing with Charles is that he kind of thinks nobody's good enough for his daughter. But that's kind of that's like a villainy kind of trope too, like dads in movies that, like, I've got 3 daughters and I'm sure that I won't love every person that they ever date in the future, but I think to just be comically evil about it is crazy. Like, it just, like, just on instincts, like, you are not good enough for my daughter and now I'm going to insult you and not give you any of my scotch. I wouldn't even let you try my scotch, much less my daughter. Ugh, right? Very yucky, Charles. Don't talk like that. So it's kind of that. Mm-hmm. Like, you'll see at some point the thing that happened with Charles, but he is one of 2 big bads in Lost. And so
have we met the other big bad? Okay.
In a sense, kind of. Yeah, everybody watching the show is like, anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, more. I'm not spoiling it. I want to, but I'm not going to spoil it. So he's one of 2 big bads, and I think he is the more. Personally, I think he's the more evil of the 2. So you'll meet the other one. So again. Anyway, anything else about this episode that we need to go over?
No, I thought it was really good. A lot of stuff.
Yeah. Really, really great.
I feel so sad for Alex.
Yeah.
She called out, she said, "Daddy, please," right before she got shot.
Oh.
God. And just Ben's reaction was, I don't know. For the first thing that he said he changed the rules. Like, you just saw your daughter get shot right in front of your face, and you're He changed the rules.
So we've got a lot of comments on this one.
Oh, snap. Here we go.
So
Messages in a bottle.
Messages in a Bottle, my favorite part of any episode that we do. So from the top to the bottom.
Kevin Johnson one.
Yep. The response to Meet Kevin Johnson. So Greg says, yes. The episode one must be very careful Googling in order to avoid typing a wayward S. I learned that the hard way. Pun intended. Hashtag Meet Kevin's Johnson.
That's so good.
And then apparently that made Matt literally snort. Matt also adds, another great episode. The exposition issue is a bit of a thing amongst Losties and creates a conundrum. The most popular episodes are the ones that have the most mystery, but the moment there's an exposition episode such as this one or a particular late season 6 episode, many fans lose their shit because they have answers and don't seem to like it. I think books have been written about the psychology of this. 100%. All right.
So you're saying that people get the answers and they're just pissed off about what the answer is?
Yes, because, and I'm just going to lean back on my other favorite, Breaking Bad, for a second, because it's not a mystery, but they actually wrote, the people who did Breaking Bad wrote about the last episode of Breaking Bad, because lots of people think that the very last episode was not great of Breaking Bad. Disagree. I think that it was a perfect ending, which is one of the reasons that I think Breaking Bad is such a great show, is that I think the ending was perfect.
It's like the freaking Sopranos, where it just
The Sopranos sucked. That was a terrible ending, right? But in Breaking Bad, the ending happened, and then people were kind of complaining about it, and the Vince Gilligan, who wrote Breaking Bad, was like, look, you have to understand that people don't actually think the ending is that bad. It's just that they think the show being over is bad. So there is no ending you can give them where they're going to go like, love that, no more show, right? Because they loved that show. And it's the same for Lost. Like when you get to the end of Lost, you'll see like the ending of Lost is controversial. But it's because the show's over. Like the show is great. And like you get to the end of it and you're angry that it's over. And when something is exposition, right? Also, who's the guy that did Get Out? And Jordan Peele. So Jordan Peele says that good horror, just like good mystery, is only good because you don't know. So when you're looking at when you're watching Jaws, you're terrified because you can't see the shark. As soon as you see the animatronic shark,
it's like
not so scary anymore, right? Like, he had that
whack.
Yeah, they had that movie. Then he made Nope, which was exactly that, where it was scary, and then like, oh, this is what? Like, what is this? A wedding dress in the sky? What the hell is this? Just like the dumbest thing ever. And so the exposition gives you like a, you know, but just because the mystery is so gratifying to watch, I think. So I told them we would address in this episode, genuinely think how the exposition happens is infinitely more important than whether it happens. Breaking Bad has an absolutely amazing moment at the end of season 4 where you suddenly understand everything, and it is absolutely horrifying and so well done. Hate to keep harping on it, but if you haven't watched it, watch it. So
you talking about?
Yeah, the Lily of the Valley. Yeah. So without spoiling it, there is a moment which is so well done because they don't just have a character say a thing that happened. They make your brain put it together.
Oh, and, it's so good.
And when your brain puts it together, I got a chill just remembering it. I'm like,
it's great.
That's the only time I can remember actually screaming at literal screaming at my TV, watching it. Just could not believe what I was watching. And I'm like, no. Oh, so good. Horrific. All right. Matt adds, just to be clear, I was talking Lost fans generally, and this wasn't a criticism of anything you guys said. I think Greg might be able to articulate it better than me, but I remember he posted about this phenomenon a while back and how there are a couple of key moments where Losties revolted because they got too many answers and didn't know how to handle it, despite always wanting to know them. I think you know the episode I'm talking about, but don't want to say it ahead of time for obvious reasons. Yep, I know the episode you're talking about. And there's an episode where you get like, here it is, right?
Great, great.
You get it, right?
I want it right now.
But it's not for everything. So, like, it's just for the main thing, kind of. I'm not going to spoil it, but Matt is right. There is an episode like that. But it didn't break my brain. Like, I was watching it, and I don't watch TV that way. Like, I don't watch TV for just the payoff. Like, there's the journey of watching the TV show, and man, it's so good. Like, Lost does this better even than Breaking Bad. Like, Lost does the journey better than Breaking Bad does. Breaking Bad's so abbreviated that, like, the beauty of Lost is that it's this, like, beautiful tapestry of, like, a bunch of different characters. The beauty of Breaking Bad is how you take a good man and make him evil over the course of, 5 seasons instead of, and way less episodes than Lost. So Greg says, fun fact about the Mama Cass song. On the ABC Lost website at the time, this scene is shown in the Lost Revelations 408 clip. In this clip, the whispers are incoherent. However, in the aired episode, the whispers begin with Mama Cass' song that played on the car radio when Michael tried to kill himself the first time. The key lyric heard is, "It's getting better." I genuinely don't think there are many Losties who haven't watched Breaking Bad, given that we're all so desperate for the Lost-size hole after the finale, and it overlapped with Lost ending in 2013. Yeah, that's a fair point. I'll run a group poll to see what the breakdown is in this group. Yeah, apparently Greg was very happy when we started talking about the music and Lost. We don't talk about the music enough, and it's a Lost-sized hole in our in the way that our shows are structured. Daniel said, no idea about the orange equals violence thing. And now you know. So next time you're watching a movie or a TV show and you literally... If you see an orange, somebody's about to get fucked up. Mm-hmm. Right? Morgan said, I was so proud to have called that out before Joe had the chance to. I'm learning. LOL at Morgan's excitement at the start of this episode is infectious, from Josh. Yeah, it's really cool to watch somebody enjoy something that you like. I'm so glad that we're doing this because, like, for the first part of our marriage, just to hear her consistently shit on Lost because of the first episode or two. God. And it is so good to finally have her enjoying it.
I know. I could have had this show under my belt a long time ago.
It's because she held out for so long that this show even exists, though. Because we would, yeah. We got a couple of screen grabs.
God, these.
Yeah.
Man.
Synchronized smell the fart acting from Matt. Very good. Who did it better? Okay, so this is Greg with a picture of John Locke smelling the fart there. I like to think we did it better. And I said so. So Kira, welcome back, Kira. Had to think about it, and I believe you're both right about why Locke only calls Sawyer by his real first name.
Time out. Had to think about it. That is great. What a fun little way to say that. Had to think about it.
Americans have the worst version of English. I'll stand by that. We're... Whatever. I'm going to get... Eventually, I'm going to run for some small office somewhere, and they're going to watch every episode of this podcast.
He's anti-American.
And it's like, listen to Joe shitting on America. But we just don't do things the coolest way that we could. The thing that we do best is cookouts. Like...
We do.
Y'all have never been to a cookout like an American cookout. I promise you. You might call it a barbecue where you're from, or you might call it. I think it's normally called a barbecue anywhere but America. But like where you just go to somebody's house and they're grilling a bunch of meat outside and there's stuff inside. But like you'll never have one like an American barbecue. We do that way better than anybody else. Mm-hmm. I put our barbecues up against anybody, especially barbecues in the South. All right.
Do you want to know what I just recently learned, like in the past 5 years? Shrimp on the barbecue.
A shrimp on the barbecue.
I had no idea.
What'd you think it meant?
I have no idea. Like, I was thinking like a barb, like shrimp on the barb, like to roast it over a fire.
Oh, like a spit.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, shrimp on the Barbie. So. Fun. Yeah. You didn't even read her whole comment because I interrupted you.
You interrupted me. She was just saying that she thinks that we're both right about how why Locke calls Sawyer by his real first name. Not sure where the exact balance point is, but it feels to me like a combination of both your views. And
I love that. We're both right. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the validation.
I like that we're very beige today. We're like,
I know.
we did not want to look
And
like
my undershirt is also beige.
we didn't want to look like we're in a cult today, but we do. So
Sorry.
it is what it is. So let's take a look at what the next episode will be. Because I always...
You have so many tabs open.
Yeah. I don't have these memorized in terms of the...
I am loving seeing Ben be a badass, kind of, and having some emotional depth to him rather than just being some cold, calculated freaking nerd or whatever.
So the next episode, and I'll have to see whose episode this actually is, because it's called Something Nice Back Home, and it is it's a Jack episode. So Something Nice Back Home.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Do we have anything else we need to get to here?
I don't think so.
All right, y'all, thank you for watching and listening, and thank you for your patience and waiting for me to get over the plague. And I look forward to seeing y'all again, and in the meantime, we will see you in another life.